Tonight on Podcast Them Down, Hammers vs. Pumpkins. The winner may surprise you. Podcast Them Down. Hail, Metal Nation. It is we, Tim and Dave. This is Podcast Them Down. And, metal podcast with not too much metal, mostly talking about metal. That way, it doesn't cost anything to clear any rights.
Exactly.
So I took let's dive right in. I took a brief break from repeating myself on all the Burning Shadows and ISENMOR band chats and listening to increasingly worse Iron Maiden albums for Iron Maiden 2023 on Podcast Them Down, and drove down to Silver Spring and attended the Hammerfall Helloween concert on the 18th of May at the Fillmore, Silver Spring, Maryland, USA.
Right down there on Colesville Avenue.
United Forces
Colesville
Tour.
Road.
I was thinking Pumpkins United because that was something Helloween did before.
That was some tour from the past.
The tour was called United Forces, and
why didn't they just call themselves the Smashing Pumpkins tour? I mean, it's right there. Smashing Pumpkins are actually back together and playing now.
Might have gotten more people to come too. Although I wouldn't want to be associated with Billy Corgan. By the way, we talk about sponsors every so often. We're this podcast is supported by patrons, but join our Patreon, link in the description. But we could always use some more sponsors, and I want to pitch this one to you. Liquid Band-Aid. It's an extremely metal product. Here's how. You wound yourself, right? Have you ever used Liquid Band-Aid?
No. I mean, I'm familiar with the concept, right? It is a liquid adhesive that seals the wound. Yeah, so you wound yourself, and what you do is you clean it, right? And then you apply the Liquid Band-Aid, and it comes in it's like applying nail polish. It comes with a little brush. You dip it in the thing. Right. So when you apply it to the wound, so that's metal item number one. You're applying it to a wound. It hurts like fuck. So there's metal item number two. It stings. It's like someone is stabbing you with a stabber of some kind, an ice pick perhaps. Okay, but then the smell hits you. Oh, does it have a noxious aroma?
Yes, it is it's a very chemically smell. So far it's offensive to two of your senses. It is clear. However, if you have not finished bleeding, that also means you can see the blood welling up underneath the cut. So if it has dried enough, if you put on enough so it dries, it holds the blood within the blob, right? So that's metal. And then it kind of gets tacky before it hardens. So if you're still bleeding and you either didn't cover the area well, or you knock into it, or the blood just reaches the edge, then you continue to bleed anyway. So and that is what I have going on right here.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So, and that wasn't just an excuse to give you the middle finger.
Oh, naturally. For those of us listening, yes, Tim just flipped me off, showing me the mighty wound in his finger.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's superficial, but you know, the blood has escaped the Liquid Band-Aid.
The containment zone isn't secure.
That's right. So anyway,
that's a Hammerfall zombie era joke for you.
Yeah, reach out to Liquid Band-Aid companies. Reach out to us, and we will relentlessly promote your product to the point where we'll have someone wound themselves on the air and apply your product and describe all the metalness that occurs thereafter.
You know, and as a testimonial, I do. God, Tim, that can is just, I love it. So we have a saying in the ISENMOR family. if there's no blood on the drums afterwards, it wasn't really a good show. So I'm very happy to be the test subject for the Liquid Band-Aids improvement project.
Yeah, it seems to be your blood more often than not.
That's right. It's funny. We recently played a show in Frederick and
Frederick, Maryland. Don't act like people know where it is.
How many other Fredericks are there?
Well, if you're not from Frederick, Maryland, people from Frederick seem to think everyone knows where that is because it's one of the larger cities in Maryland. No one knows where it is, and to that point, no one fucking cares where it is. Okay? There's bigger, better cities, including Rockville, Baltimore, and Silver Spring, where I saw the Halloween Hammerfall show. And Annapolis, I guess.
I mean, Annapolis is pretty great.
Anyway, you were saying? Frederick?
I was saying. Played in Frederick, Maryland with a bunch of other great bands. Our friends in Second Guard, Oak, Ash, and Thorn, and the Solemn Vision folks up from Brooklyn.
Down from Brooklyn.
You're down from Brooklyn.
Down. They traveled south. Actually, well, they were on tours, though generally they traveled south.
But who knows what direction they actually approached from. I'm feeling like I lost the plot. No, I thought it was a great show, and I got out of it unscathed. I didn't cut myself on any of my broken cymbals. And then I got home.
Oh, no.
I discovered that I had sliced my big toe.
What?
On my, on the die-cut Iron Cobra logo on the pedals.
What? Okay, were you wearing shoes while playing?
I don't wear shoes while playing.
Okay.
I do wear socks. I don't play barefoot because if you're barefoot, then you're guaranteed to get cut up.
And the socks really helped this time.
With socks, it's usually not an issue, but not this time. But then there it is, the blood sacrifice required for a decent ISENMOR show, satisfied.
Oh, okay then. It didn't reach your equipment though, did it?
I mean, probably the pedal?
Okay. All right then. Like lubricates. I'm playing faster because of all the blood. Ugh. Okay. So Hammerfall. So Fillmore, Silver Spring. Big venue. Relatively big venue. It's so after bands like Sellout Soundstage or Pack Soundstage, which has a 1,000 person capacity, they tend to come around the next time to the Fillmore.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Fillmore has 2 levels, which Baltimore Soundstage does not. It's between DC and Baltimore, closer to DC. That's where Silver Spring is. It's and it's in a
revitalized area of town.
Yeah, it's in the middle of a satellite city of Washington DC. So, there's downtown with the buildings and the National Oceanographic Administration of America, or whatever NOAA stands for. They're based in Silver Spring, and Discovery Channel used to be, if they still aren't, if they still are. So, yeah. So,
and the AFI Silver Theater,
and it's walking distance from the pirate bar that was on Bar Rescue.
R.I.P.
Yeah. And that place closed down very quickly.
Man, Tim, that place was around forever.
But that was like the dumbest. I love Bar Rescue. I watch way too much, but that was the one idea out of every episode I've ever seen that I thought was stupid, because he wanted to turn it into a corporate bar for young go-getter.
You've got a metro station right here. You've got all of this built-in foot traffic from young professionals, and you have a pirate bar?
Exactly. Yeah, so he turned it into the corporate bar, and I'm like, if I wanted to drink at work, I'd just drink at work. I mean, I don't want to leave work and go to a bar that reminds me of work. That's dumb. That's a terrible idea. And naturally, it didn't last.
Naturally. I lost my Goosebumps bandana there. I have to tell you, it was a traumatic experience. I had gone out after work with this weird convergence of coworkers and friends. So we ended up at Pirate's Tavern, and I got so drunk I left my bandana at the bar, and knowing the people who would frequent that place. I'm sure it was snapped up by someone who had impeccable taste and a fond remembrance of the Goosebumps books.
I never read those. I read the older kids ones, the Fear Street. That's what I read. Anyway, so the beer at this place, by the way, costs $12.50, and the tap water costs $5.
Are you fucking joking?
So parking is no longer free, but at the parking garage that's like 2 blocks away, 1 block away maybe. However, you can either bring coins or use Park Mobile, the app, and it costs $3 to park until time ran out. So, but parking used to be free, but now it's like,
yeah,
you have to pay like,
but still $3 for an evening of concert
to pay $3 for parking. Which is, that is one advantage compared to Soundstage. Soundstage parking's like $30 because it's downtown Baltimore with all the touristy stuff. So,
yeah, and even the matching frickin' validation doesn't even cut it enough.
Right, and they charge for arena parking in that area as well. So, you could end up paying even more depending on what's going on. So
that's why you got to take the light rail.
So, well, then you're walking so far.
God damn, you're right. That's a really long walk.
The light rail lets you off at Camden Yards. Yeah, then you got to walk all the way to the aquarium.
Mm-hmm. All the way around the harbor.
Yep. Okay. So
the Fillmore, $12.50 for beer.
When's the last time you've been there?
The last show I saw at the Fillmore, I'm pretty sure.
Dead air.
Children. Sorry, I'm sorry. I have a bad memory. It was Children of Bodom and Tyr.
They played there?
It was a long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an outrageous bill, and I took Michelle. She wanted to see Tyr, so Tyr plays for like 40 minutes, and she's like, okay, well that sucked because they played for 40 minutes. What the fuck is she's used to seeing them do like an hour and a half set from the one time that we saw them, and
it was March 21st, 2014, and they opened. It opened with 6-pounder.
This isn't possible. 2014? No, I have to have seen something more recently than that.
I'm just telling you what I found.
That was the last Children of Bodom show at the Fillmore?
Yeah, well, but he died after that.
No, he died like in the last 2 years.
I know.
But
that was the last Children of Bodom show at the Fillmore.
I'll be damned. That was not the last show I saw at the Fillmore. The last show I saw at the Fillmore was King Diamond performing Abigail, the album, live on stage.
Ah, I thought she's been in here for years and years. So it's Jenny warned me. Okay, so Camelot and Sonata Arctica played both Baltimore and Silver Spring. So they did this. This was years ago. They did Baltimore on the first leg of the tour and then Silver Spring on the second leg of the tour. Now I saw that tour on the first leg, and then Jenny was like, I want to go. And I said,
nope, they're coming back.
Yeah. Well, someone had to watch the kids. And I was like, I'll watch the kids if you want to go. And she called my bluff and she went.
Good for her.
And I stayed home and watched the kids. And she was complaining that it was cold. The Fillmore was cold. Now she always complains everything's cold, right?
So I mean, yes.
So much to my surprise, the Fillmore is freezing.
Oh yeah.
And there are places you can stand where it's just blowing ice on you. Now, this to me is far more preferable than that time I saw Camelot.
Dude.
Wow, that's just a coincidence. Camelot at Jack's, and I guess Roy Kahn, who was singing at the time, walked in and said, this air conditioning is not good for my vocals. Turn it off. And then
I'm sorry. I saw plenty of.
And then Jay, or allegedly violated the fire code as he allegedly did, and packed the place. So it was just like sweltering and miserable. So I hope Roy Khan's happy.
I saw numerous sweltering shows at Jack's, and you were next to me at half of them. So I think that's par for the course at that place.
Okay. So
yeah.
So it was cold. She wasn't making it up. Now, it had been a while since I had been to Fillmore. You know, beers were only like $9. I did not have a beer. Oh, and I should say, my dad came with me because
you mentioned
he came last time we saw Hammerfall, which I believe was at Jack's. Still, so
God,
and
damn.
I remember we got up front at that show, but was that the last time we saw Hammerfall? That's a good question.
What tour was that?
I think the last
time
I have no
last
idea.
time I saw Hammerfall was the Chapter 5 tour.
Let's see. It was so it was either March 5th, 2010 on No Sacrifice, No Victory, August 15th, 2005 on Icebreaker 2005, and it definitely wasn't November 13th, 1998, which was probably the best time to see them.
God damn, no kidding. That brings me right back to the Renegade Templar Crusades where like he's slapping the pine tree and stuff.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, the palm tree.
Yeah, so we so now every time Hammerfall comes, you know, my dad and I have to go see them. So they had a big so the tour is Helloween playing about every other night and Hammerfall opening. And then Hammerfall between dates is doing a headlining show somewhere else. Okay? So they'll do a show together. Helloween will take their time getting to the next city while Hammerfall does another gig and then rejoins the tour. And they so like do this over and over and over.
You saw him in Silver Spring, and then the next night, Hammerfall
Halloween
was in Philly.
Halloween had off, and Hammerfall went to Philly. Now, I think that partially explains the ludicrous ticket price of $85.
Holy Blankenstein.
All right, so what?
That's a lot of fucking money.
What? So by comparison, Hammerfall headlining the next day in Philadelphia was $25 plus fees. So $31.
Yeah, but still, $25 to see Hammerfall?
Yeah.
You mentioned 1998, and I'm wondering what year we're in, because $25 to see a band with the caliber of theatrics and fucking showmanship that the Templars of Steel provide for $25?
Yeah.
I feel like a fool for not going to Philadelphia.
Hang on, it gets worse. So the other reason I think it costs so much is they Helloween brought a video wall, like an LED video wall, and they had to bring their own drum riser, and they brought lighting, and they brought spotlights and spotlight operators.
What?
So they have a giant Helloween has a giant crew.
Yeah.
And they're only playing every other day or so.
Well, that explains it. They got to get the fucking crew and gear to the next gig.
Exactly. So they're not doing back to back. So and then Helloween themselves have gotten huge
Really?
personnel wise. So Helloween right now is 3 singers, 3 guitarists, bass and drums. And now there is some overlap. So the 3 singers are Michael Kiska, Andy Darius, and Kai Hansen. The guitarists are Michael Vikath, Kai Hansen, and Sacha Gerstner.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's a band and a half, basically.
Yeah. That's a lot of band.
Okay, so we walk in, there's the video wall, it says Hammerfall real big in front of it. The Helloween drum kit is on this very tall riser covered by a black blanket. And in front of that, Hammerfall has set up with the saddest looking drum set I've ever seen Hammerfall play. Now, it's a nice drum set, but it's not a Hammerfall drum set. Because when I think of a Hammerfall drum set, I think of the one Anders Johansson set the cymbals on fire and had 4 kick drums.
Yeah.
So
2 more than he could actually play.
No, but this was just
at a given time.
I bet it was just a rental from some company. You know, like, give me this kit. And yeah, so also the black tarp over the Halloween kit obscured the video wall behind. So there was no video, it was just a static image, but it was still like partially blocked by the drum kit.
At that point, why don't you rig a curtain? Like, I know Hammerfall has a huge curtain that they're using for like European festivals and shit. Why don't you bring that?
Maybe it takes its own shipping container or something.
It must. Look, I'm all for like humanizing our heroes, and there's something to be said for seeing Hammerfall play like they're burning shadows in front of some other big band's drum kit that's covered in a drop cloth. But like, they've been doing this for like nigh on 30 years at this point, and it's, come on.
Yeah, but I'm guessing they don't come to America enough to keep things in America that they need.
Yeah. Well, for sure. But like, speaking of the Halloween stage set, I wonder if it didn't have to do with the fact that they would need additional time to set the lighting rig, the video wall, the spotlight operator catwalk or trusses or whatever they were on. Be. Like, you can't just do that and load in at 9 a.m.
Yeah, maybe
at a theater that's probably not necessarily always equipped to handle that sort of thing.
Yeah, that could definitely be. Okay, so Hammerfall comes out. No one besides Hammerfall is opening. So let's play Name Everyone in Hammerfall, because I bet you can get as far as I can.
Okay, there is Joachim Kahns.
Yes.
There's Oscar Dronjak.
Yes.
There's Pontus Norgren.
Yes.
There's a bass player and a drummer.
Correct. You got as far as I did. Okay, so the bass player is Fredrik Larsson.
Wait a second. The Fredrik Larsson?
Yeah,
like
the guy who played piano in the Glory to the Brave video. It's him.
That's awesome.
Yep. And I'm going on record. I don't like his bass. I forget if it's a Fender Jaguar or a Kelly Star. But it's like one of those like blobby shaped
stupid body. Ugh.
Yeah. But it's clearly his favorite bass because he's played it forever, and it's like one of those, has like road wear on it. So,
oh yeah,
no getting that thing away from him. And then the drummer, the only guy in the band without his own Wikipedia page, David Wallen.
All right, for David, fuck yeah.
And so he's been in the band since 2015. So it won't be that long until he beats Anders Johansson's tenure in the band.
Not okay. I will never forget this, and I need to put it out to the universe. The night that we talked to Anders,
which was
he complained. Yeah, it was years. This was like in 2005, and he complained that he wasn't allowed to play anything exciting on the kit. That they just wanted the easy Neanderthal beats.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
I mean, I understand.
Maybe he's going too far. Maybe he's doing like polyrhythms and.
Oh, he probably was. I have a record that he did with his brother Jens and Alan Holdsworth, who, if our listeners are not familiar, is a pretty out there prog jazz guitarist from the 70s and onwards. So yes, I can imagine that what Anders was playing was maybe more than Hammerfall needed. But still, hands down my favorite Hammerfall drummer. Sorry, David.
So I'm thinking Hammerfall tunes down more. If not, I'm not sure. They started playing and there were some noticeably low notes, but I I can't tell. I couldn't tell just by ear if they went just down a half step to D from E flat or lower. It's not to knock anyone singing, but like to make it
the voice.
But
yeah, it changes.
This, as we'll get to later, this whole tour is like a masterclass in taking care of your voice, and that's a preview for Helloween's performance.
That sounds a little. It's not. Oh, in a good way.
Not supposed to be ominous. So they come out.
That was the exact word I was thinking.
So they come out. They play. Their set is basically one song, more or less, of basically every album. So
okay.
So they open with Brotherhood from the new album. What's that even called? I forgot what it's called. Hammer of Dawn. All right. Which cool. we reviewed. We reviewed the video.
Did. We listened to the songs.
Yeah, that was the video with the Hammerfall kids.
Yeah.
All right. And then they played Burning Shadows bassist Aaron's most hated Hammerfall song, Any Means Necessary. Because of all the by any means necessary, necessary. So I made sure to let him know that they played it. Then they played The Metal Age. And
the Metal Age.
Yep. Hammer of Dawn, awesome. The title track off the new album. Bloodbound, Renegade,
awesome.
Last Man Standing.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I like that song.
Better live than it is on the CD.
Yeah.
Like, I like
for sure
that song already, but that is a great live song.
Yeah.
So then for the 20th anniversary of Crimson Thunder, they did a medley.
No, Tim, say it's not so.
Oh,
because I remember
old as fuck.
I remember when that was the new Hammerfall albums.
Right. Stop. I remember when I'm like, I don't like new Hammerfall. And then that was before I knew how bad it would get. But I'd rather listen to new Hammerfall. Okay, Hammer of Dawn notwithstanding, new Hammerfall, I'd listen to it any day over new Iron Maiden. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so they did the medley had Riders of the Storm, Heroes Return, On the Edge of Honor, and Crimson Thunder. Now they own Joachim went back stage, so it was mostly an instrumental medley, but then he came out for Crimson Thunder, and I think they did most of the song. Okay, and so after that they did Let the Hammer Fall, and
aka Little Hammerfall.
I've never heard that. Thanks for that's like when Scotty was talking about Running Wild, and he said every time they say lead or gold, I think he's saying Little Goat, and I've never been able to listen to that song ever since.
Oh, that's been a joke for years.
Yep. Little Goat. But okay, so if you've seen recent Hammerfall videos, Let the Hammer Fall is one of the songs that Oscar, the 8-foot-tall guitarist, plays on his hammer guitar, which he loves. He loves this hammer guitar. I think it's...
And why wouldn't you?
I think that hammer guitar is stupider than the bass. It's... So, picture, if you will, a guitar neck. All right, now, screw that guitar neck onto a rectangle. There, you have a hammer guitar.
Wait a second,
but Tim, effort hammer there is. It's not even contoured. It's literally just a rectangular prism.
Right, but look at the Hammerfall hammer. It is an equally not contoured block of rock.
I disagree. There is some definition. There's some beveling.
Okay, all right. I will grant that the translation from Andreas Marschall's phenomenal rendition of the hammer into a guitar shape is not perfect. But I have to say, and you've seen the Bo Diddley model, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
I think
that's another dumb guitar. But you know what? Oscar.
I just think they rotated the Bo Diddley body 90 degrees.
I think you're
painted
right,
it with a hammer.
But there's a reason no one played that guitar for 50 years because it's fucking stupid. That's why. So, cutting a shape into this guitar will cost you extra, Mr. Diddley. Ah, fuck it. Leave it like that. So
did he play it?
Well, he attempted to repeatedly throughout the show, but every time they plugged it in, silence. So he kept having to like take the guitar off, hand it to his guitar tech, who gave him back his. It wasn't a Jackson Rhodes, but that was the shape it was, but it wasn't a Jackson. So
what was it?
Not a sponsor, by the way.
No, not at all. But like, no,
I don't know what brand it was. Not sure. So
fair enough.
So they made multiple attempts to fix this guitar. At one point, they got some buzzing when they were. I guess the wireless was live when they were plugging it in one of the times, and he came out with the guitar like 2 or 3 times, and it didn't play. And he just go back, and this is during the course of the night. So he but in Let the Hammer Fall, he holds up that hammer guitar and then at the end swings it down like a hammer. Okay. Well, his tech brought the guitar out to him while he has his other guitar on, so he can still hold it up. And I was like, this is so important that he holds up this hammer guitar at this moment. That he's like, all right, bring it out to me. And when,
just
at
do
this
it.
point. Yeah.
I know I have another one. Just bring me the hammer guitar. I think that's a perfect little microcosm for like Hammerfall and really power metal writ large. Like the absurdity of how seriously many of us take it.
Oh, but it's perfectly.
So here I am with my working guitar and my prop hammer guitar.
No. I appreciate the seriousness with which he took it. I just think the guitar could be so much cooler. That's all. And by the way, I feel like I'm alone on this because you're not the only person who has said they like the hammer guitar when I complain about it. So this is a perfect opportunity to plug our email address. You're wrong at podcastthemdown.com. So if any of us are wrong, feel free to write us and we'll tell you why you're wrong.
Please let us know so we can argue with you.
Yes. But we will treat you with respect and dignity.
Generally speaking. But I think here's the thing. The guitar is cool from a conceptual point of view, right? Like you're a band called Hammerfall. You should have a hammer-shaped guitar and it should look like it does on your albums. Yeah, but that's the problem. It should look like it does on the cover.
He sketched it on a napkin and he goes, here you go, make it like that. And then he followed it to the letter.
Yeah.
Here's a rectangle. Here's your neck.
So I both like it and I also think you are correct. It could be better.
So I watched a video.
More 3-dimensional.
So when I was complaining to my friend Brett today about it, he sent me a video. He's like, you mean this guitar? And the one he had there lit up. Now, I don't remember if the one at the show lit up. But also, hammers don't light up.
Well, that's true. Well, I mean, if it's a magic hammer.
Right. Fair. I can't argue with that one. Okay. So then, after Let the Hammer Fall and the non-working hammer guitar was held triumphantly and then swung, they played the worst song of the night, hands down, by every band. We Make Sweden Rock. I hate that song. I think they got a grant from the Swedish government, so they're like, here's some money. But you have to write the song, you have to put it on the album, you have to make a video, and you have to play it at every show. I bet that's what happened. Because this song is just terrible.
Isn't it his theme song for Sweden Rock Festival?
Yeah, it's they wrote it for some reason.
That was I don't actually know. I saw the name of this song, We Make Sweden Rock, and I thought to myself, this has got to be a festival specific thing. No, they wrote it for Sweden Rock.
No, I thought they wrote it for like the Olympic team, like that other song they wrote for the Olympic team.
Hearts on Fire, the Accutane curling. Wait, I'm conflating different Hammerfall videos.
Oh man, it's hard to Google this while you're talking.
Well, look, let me speak to the audience for a second, because I would absolutely believe that the Swedish government would provide funding for Hammerfall to do some sort of Nordic promotion to the rest of the world, because we've seen in years past heavy metal musicians getting grants from their cultural ministries of their countries to do art, which naturally you can say Hammerfall is the highest form of art in, the extreme Templars of Steel power metal sphere.
I found it.
Good.
We Make Sweden Rock is on Dominion, released in 2019, and it has nothing to do with the festival. It is a tribute to Swedish hard rock and heavy metal bands.
Rats.
That's what it is.
Oh, wait. Are the lyrics better than whatever that stupid Sabaton song is? The one where they just name metal bands?
To be more specific.
I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Metal Crew.
Metal Crew.
Right. Or Metal Crew, yeah.
There was a couple of them.
We took the priestess to the Judas priest and watched her battery.
Quote, this is a glorious tribute to the Swedish hard rock and metal movement with the lyrical theme using direct references to both other bands and songs. So possibly with catchy, contagious riffs and enchanting earworm melodies, this song will be an instant classic at future Hammerfall shows. Without the Swedish rock and metal scene, with bands like Heavy Load, At the Gates, and Inugi Malmsteen. I know it's Yngwie. Yngwie Malmsteen. I'm so fat. The world would be a pretty boring and dull place. This is our noble tribute to all the bands that inspired us not only to play metal, form bands, and eventually, inspired not only us to play metal, form bands, and eventually crusading around the world in the name of heavy metal. All hail the sons of the Northern Light.
Okay, cool. Way to fucking throw shade at Immortal. The Sons of the Northern Darkness, assholes.
Oh, I get it.
A little bit. I don't know. I got room in my heart for both. But still, that is a ridiculous press blurb.
They were breaking the chains long before the storm. Play Judas to get along. The traitors and renegades smoldered the soil of our fathers. Now lay down your gun, raise the hammers high. Together we are one, a true life worth fighting for. 'Cause this ain't no dying illusion, a call from the grave where flames are eternal. In the land of fog and mist we carry on. Sweden rock, we make Sweden rock, bring the hammer down. 3 are the crowns in our banner. Now that is a good line, but that's the only good line.
The best line I've heard so far. The rest is just standard metal gibberish.
Yeah, so during that song is when I finally took out my phone. Swiping notification. Okay, so then they played Hammer High. I forgot what album that's on. Fuck.
Like their private high school for aspiring Hammerfallers?
Oh, it's like the teen version.
Welcome to Hammer High.
It's like, okay, so at Hammer High, who would be Zach Morris? Would it be Joachim? Or, no, Joachim would probably be AC Slater. Okay, so that's another song from the recent album. It's fine. It was a big bowl of fine. And then they closed with Hearts on Fire. Unsurprisingly. So,
right. I mean, it's a perfect closer.
Okay, so I had been watching what their set was at their headlining shows. I was, the decision had to be made whether to see Hammerfall alone or with Helloween, because again, the price. So they didn't do Renegade at a bunch of the shows. So it was a surprise to me when they played Renegade.
Oh,
so
okay,
I was happy about that. I looked up the Philly set. The only 2 songs they added were 2 more off of the new album. No Son of Odin and Venerate Me. Yes, they just added more.
I remember that song.
Yeah. So
wait, I wonder if No Son of Odin is an Monomarth diss track.
I I feel like they're too polite. Well, then again, they did throw shade at Immortal just now, so. All right, so then Hammerfall gets off stage. At some point, my dad and I hit the merch table. So this is a good time to talk about the merch table. So they had.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
So right when you walk in to the Fillmore, there's a merch area, and then entrances to the venue part on the right and left.
Next, cleverly designed for a bottleneck. The minute you walk in.
Yeah, it's a poor design. Clearly, that they're working with what they have. Let's put it that way.
Yes. Yes.
So all of they had lots of Halloween stuff. They did have a United Forces scarf.
Ooh.
That was Halloween, and it said United Forces. Did not say Hammerfall. The tour shirt had Halloween and Hammerfall on it, and the dates on the back. But then, literally everything else was just Halloween everything. So at some point, actually before Hammerfall went on, we noticed, there's the Hammerfall merch booth. So we go over, and they got their shirts, and they had a work shirt that I was very interested in getting. I ended up not getting it. $50. All the shirts were like $40. Long sleeves, $50. This is for both bands, by the way.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's the same everywhere, but God world.
All right. So my dad asked if they had a hoodie because Halloween had a hoodie. And I will not name names in case they weren't supposed to tell anyone, but someone involved with the tour said we're not allowed to sell hoodies when Halloween has their merch set up. Because if someone's there in the market for a hoodie, they want them to buy a Halloween hoodie and not a Hammerfall hoodie.
Well, that's fucked up.
That's my speculation at the end of that.
I mean, what else can you assume?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So you got
a hoodie.
Yeah.
Like that is the penultimate merch decision is a hoodie. The only thing that's bigger than a hoodie is like buying a record at a show, or
which they did have,
like a hockey jersey or something.
Yeah. Or for an ISENMOR basketball jersey. That's right. I said it here first.
But damn, you want to give people the opportunity to choose that they want to lay down $60 on a hoodie for a band they actually really want a $60 hoodie of.
Yeah. So because of that, we ended up buying nothing. I was very tempted, but I bet it's not Hammerfall price gouging. I bet it's venue fees, merch fees, because their pin, they had a Hammerfall pin and a patch, and those were like $10-15 a piece. I'm like, I'm not paying that much for those.
Yeah.
Like a small enamel pin is not worth $15.
Was it in a limited edition pin? No, or was it just like, here's a pin?
No, I think it was just a pin.
Yeah, unless there's like a number on it, that a pin is not worth more than $5. I said it. Yeah,
so I'm sure Fillmore, it's owned by a corporation.
Yeah. But it's also what the market can support. Like when Michelle and I have gone to like not metal shows, the merch is that same tier.
Yep. Yeah, so I would have bought a Hammerfall scarf if I was drinking, which I wasn't, because again, $12. How much does it cost to get to drink enough to start making bad merch decisions? Like after paying $85 to get in and $3 to park.
Holy God! So look, one thing you might want to consider if you do want to drink at shows.
I just don't want to pay the money. No, I just don't want to pay the money.
The refillable flasks for kids, like you put like apple juice. Yeah, like you put apple juice in it. It's a little juice bag.
Billy's Souse.
Take it on the road. You can buy them at the grocery store. Just fill it up with booze. Put it into your underwear. They'll never know.
Your underwear. They have never checked my underwear. Let's put it that way.
This is what we do for fish.
Don't give away your secret. Underwear. Okay. How long was that? Ooh, This might be a record 45 minutes or so into the episode, and you finally mentioned them.
Thank you. Now, the joke's on you. This is a fish symbol. It's been on since we started.
Looks like an octopus sucker.
I mean, I like it because it's subtle, but everybody who's in the cult will know.
I like how subtle has a subtle letter in it. Okay, so during this time, they're changing over to Helloween. Helloween, the very tall drum riser finally made sense when they started inflating the pumpkin.
Oh my God.
So there was a big inflate, like it looked like a high quality version of one of those inflatable things you buy at Christmas.
I'm thinking of that Halloween, family that lives down the road for your folks, or rather lived.
They don't do that anymore, by the way.
Yeah, no, we were Michelle and I were in the area a week or so ago, and we noticed. Yeah, there was no Memorial Day display.
What would a Memorial Day display be? Because it's remembering those who have fallen
giant
in
inflatable
war,
hot dog.
No.
Giant inflatable hot dog, giant inflatable eagle.
No, that's the feel good Memorial Day that everyone. Memorial Day is about remembering the fallen soldiers. So I think a good depiction of like the Battle of Passchendaele, and maybe an orchestral version of the Sabaton song, and definitely not the shitty Iron Maiden song about Passchendaele, would be a more accurate thing rather than hot dogs and America.
I agree.
It's about fallen soldiers. It's a sad day. Veterans Day is the happy day.
I'm going to postulate that the same is true of Christmas, right? The nativity simply presages the crucifixion and the sacrifice of the Son of God. And yet we show Santa Claus
the metal
and
holiday because someone gets fucking nailed to a tree and then rises from the grave. That's metal as fuck. And who doesn't like eating rabbits?
Amen to that.
Well, no,
so Halloween blows up their
because the darkness has been encroaching for months upon months, and that's pretty metal.
Agreed. No, don't I'm not ragging on Christmas. I'm simply saying that Christmas is portrayed in the lawn art industry with Frosty and an abominable snowman and Santa.
And okay, nativity scenes have goats, and goats are pretty metal. Okay,
that is metal.
All right.
So not Hammerfall. Halloween starts blowing up their pumpkin.
Yeah. So they were having trouble getting it to stay in front of the riser, and I said to my dad, "I'm glad the two things I think are stupidest at the show are having problems."
Yeah.
Because I get that that's their thing, and they came up with this in the 80s. When Halloween formed, sure. They formed in West Germany. That's how long ago these decisions were made. So I respect that they're diving into it. I just still think it's stupid. So, so the drum riser was also flanked by like stairs and a couple platforms. So there was lots of room for them to move around,
running up and down.
Yeah. It was nowhere near as complex as the King Diamond stage was, but it was more than a drum riser. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So Halloween comes out. They have full video production on their wall behind them. Some of the panels kept malfunctioning, and you could see guys like coming out looking at it to see if they fixed it over and over and over again. That was kind of funny.
That sucks.
They opened with Skyfall, which, if you're not familiar, is one of the newer songs that they put together after the reunion. So again, Halloween is Halloween.
I'm very out of the Halloween loop.
Yes. So Halloween originally was Kai Hansen on vocals, Michael Vykath on guitar. Oh, Kai Hansen also played guitar. So then Michael Vykath on guitar, Marcus Grosskopf Grosskopf, Big Head.
Yep.
His name is really Big Head on
name.
drums. And then Ingo, oh, look at that name.
Ingo
Schwichtenberg,
that's right.
So after the first album came out, they got Michael Kiske on vocals. And he's way better than Kai Hansen. I think everyone, including Kai Hansen, knows that. Kai Hansen left at some point to do Gamma Ray. So they had a replacement.
Better of the two.
For most of the 90s, Roland Grappow. And then after 2001-ish, they also had Uli Kusch on drums for a while. They went through a few drummers, but the lineup stabilized in the early mid 2000s with Andy DeReese on vocals, because Michael Kiske left in the early 90s, so Andy DeReese. And then Sacha Gerstner. I said that wrong. Gerstner. No, that's right. Okay, Sacha Gerstner. And same bassist throughout. He's the only original. Him and Michael VACATED are the only original members. Yeah. And that, well, until Kai Hansen came back. And then Daniel Löble on drums. So what happened was, in about 2017, I don't know whose idea it was, but Michael Kiske returns with Kai Hansen. And they do, I think that's what Pumpkins United was. So so instead of replacing these new guys, they just added the old guys back. Period. Yep. So it's sort of like, I hate to keep bringing it up. I really don't want to keep bringing Iron Maiden up, but I'm going to again. Fucking Iron Maiden broke me. Iron Maiden, when Bruce Dickinson came back, he said, "Hey, can Adrian Smith come back too?" And they go, "Yeah." But we're not going to kick out his replacement, so now we have 3 guitarists. So that's kind of what happened. Kai Hansen comes back, and Sacha Gerstner was like, "I'm not leaving." so they have 3 guitarists now. As evidenced by Skyfall, and unlike Iron Maiden, there's the comparison. Helloween is competent at using 3 guitarists, and even better using 3 lead vocalists, because Kai Hansen does leads again. So yeah, Skyfall, perfect example of that. It's an epic song, and that's what they opened with. So it was really good. It was really good.
Should I start listening to Helloween again?
I would get the newest album, which is called Helloween. Makes it easy.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that is a fucking ballsy move to release your self-titled 40 years into your career.
Yeah, well, Metallica waited 8 years.
40 years! It'd be like if Fish released an album called Fish this year.
God damn it. So, they also, shit, I lost my train of thought. Well, I'll just move on to the next song.
3 singers, 3 competent guitarists. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, Skyfall. Fantastic. So then they play Eagle Fly Free.
That's a great number 2 set. There's just like... Yeah,
that's the one. So, but what they did was Andy DeReese and Kai Hansen disappeared. They just go backstage, and so the band. No, I'm sorry. Sacha goes backstage. Other guy stays there. Kai Hansen stays on stage. So they do the Keeper of the Seven Keys lineup to perform Eagle Fly Free.
That's fucking rad.
And that's what they basically did for the entire rest of the show.
That's so cool.
Whatever album it was on,
that's who was playing.
That's who played for the most part. They did have 3 guitarists for a lot of it. And you can tell for the old songs in particular, Sacha was, you're the new guy, even though you've been in the band 20 years, you're the new guy. So you don't get to take the solos. We get to take the solos.
Oh man, Tim, that's just making me wish for like an alternate universe where we could see every single iteration of Iced Earth just come out and play.
I don't think I want to see that.
Do a set change per album. That's such a cool idea for Helloween to do. I think that's awesome that they did that, especially since each of those singers is so distinct. And they're harmonizing the high up vocals and it was just so good. It was very, very impressive. And so that was the other thing, taking care of their voices. Michael Kiska is older than he's ever been. Oh.
And so is Andy DeReese. And they both sound like the album. Like they have taken care of, I don't know what warm up they do or if they're chain smoking like Fabio Leone, but they are,
hey, it's different for everybody what works.
They're hitting all those notes and it's very impressive. And, Joachim from Hammerfall is out on stage and he's like, 60% gray now, right?
Yeah.
And he is like 10, 20 years younger than the guys in Helloween?
Presumably, yeah.
Yeah, it's just very impressive. So, so Kiska sings all the Kiska songs. DeReese sings all the DeReese songs. They did Mass Pollution, Future World, Power, not the Manowar song. Save Us.
Not the Manowar song.
Okay. Metal Invaders, Victim of Fate, Gorgar Ride the Sky, medley.
Okay.
Heavy Metal is the Law, Forever and One, Neverland. And then Sacha did a guitar solo. Best Time, Dr. Stein, and How Many Tears?
Dr. Steen.
Stein. It's spelled Stein.
Dr. Steen is how they sing it. They're Germans, not. I know it's Stein.
So then the first encore, Perfect Gentleman, Keeper of the Seven Keys.
I love the song Perfect Gentleman. Can I tell you?
Sure. You can tell me all you want.
I love the song Perfect Gentleman. It's ostensibly
I
about
thought you were
Lucifer.
going somewhere with that.
No, it's ostensibly about Lucifer or some. That's what I took from it. I haven't read the lyrics clearly, but I just love it. The groove is so cute, and that descending riff. It's very slinky. I like it. They played it when I saw them with Gamma Ray at Ram's Head Live. No, not Ram's Head. Yes, Ram's Head, but at the power plant.
And then their second encore, they did I Want Out, and they had pumpkin balloons they threw into the crowd. So,
wait, they didn't invite Hammerfall out to do I Want Out?
Because they did record that, didn't they? So
they did, and Kai recorded with them when they did that cover.
Yep.
Ooh.
So
bad choice.
Two things I didn't mention. I'm going to mention real quick. The drum set. I was complaining about the Hammerfall drum set. The Helloween drum set had 6 kick drums. So it had 2 in the middle that he was playing, 2 on the sides for decoration, and 2 mounted up here so he could play them with his drumsticks.
But did he do this?
Yes, he did play.
Okay, all right.
He did play the mounted ones.
If it's there, you gotta hit it.
In fact, he played it during Eagle Fly Free, so you didn't have to wait very long.
Oh, you got it out of the way early.
Yeah. So so if you like me were wondering, is he actually gonna use those? Yes, he is, and he did. So then the Sacha's guitar is very hard to describe. I've been trying to figure out a good way to describe this thing, but take a guitar, all right, and the little horn up where you'd like connect your strap over your shoulder. You connect it.
I can imagine it.
above the strings, halfway up your chest. Well, there's a piece of wood that connects that to the headstock.
What?
Yeah. And I feel like that gets in the way of your being able to see anything.
Wait, like how the hell are you gonna... I mean, it's not going to impede your fretting, but that's just like... I think wouldn't it hit your arm or something?
No, so it's above.
That is a wild look.
So your hand comes up from below to fret the guitar. It's not. It's just a piece of wood. You can like put your hand between. You can still like grab the whole neck. You know, it's like it makes it forms an empty triangle.
Right, but why?
I don't know, and I can't figure it out. And to make it weirder, he has two of these. So he had a white one and a red one.
Like if there was some sort of keytar MIDI guitar controller on that.
No, I don't think there was. I don't think there was anything.
Then it would make sense.
It was.
Wow. And here I was thinking that it was going to be a pumpkin guitar.
Yeah.
But no.
Well, so the pumpkin was the bass. The bass was the pumpkin.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, that makes the most sense. I think the pumpkin would probably sound better as a bass than as a guitar. You know, that's kind of large cavity.
I don't know. I think either way it wouldn't sound good. One more comment I have to make is about Michael. I already forgot his name. Vicath.
Yeah.
So
Vicath.
He is the guy. If you remember last time, did you go to Halloween when they played Jack's?
I don't think I ever saw them at Jack's.
Yeah. That was a good impression. He looks like he does not fucking care.
He looks like he'd rather
be. He looks like he's
anywhere else. The first time I saw them was in Wacken, and I just like couldn't fucking believe it. I was watching him, and I'm like, where else could you possibly want to be than right here,
right now? And at Jack's, they still allowed smoking on stage. So he had a little pumpkin ashtray that connected to his mic stand, and he'd like ash his cigarette into the pumpkin ashtray. Well, he didn't have that this time. I don't know if he still smokes. Who knows? But there were more. He had what I described to my dad as resting ennui face. But every so often he'd do a solo and he'd be like, ah, you know. So you can tell he is enjoying it. He just has resting ennui face. That's my take on it.
He's my favorite member of Halloween for all of the reasons that you just articulated. The absolute utter like disdain for the music that he's playing and everybody in the room until he takes a solo and has fun. Right. And the chain smoking.
Right. I really like Sacha Gerstner. To be honest, I don't remember him the last time. But I was standing in front of Michael. But by the way, he lives in Tenerife. Michael Vicath, which is like one of the Canary Islands. It's just such a random place for a German power metal musician to live, but apparently that's where he lives. And if you're not familiar with how metal Tenerife is, there was a horrible airline disaster there, so that's metal.
That's the reason I know the name.
Yeah, so me too. That's why I was like, oh, I know where that is, only because I know about the disaster. So, but Sacha like came out wearing these big sunglasses, and he used to have long hair, but now he has he shaved the sides.
Oh, flop.
But he kind of like gels it so it flops. And it looks very rock star. Let's put it that way. Everyone else looks old metal, especially Kai Hansen. Kai Hansen looked like he failed the audition for Motley Crue. They're like, get out, I'll join this band instead. That's what it looked like. Michael Kiska just looks like a German dude.
Yep.
That's like, was the beer? And then Andy Derice looks exactly the same like he used to, but he's kind of wearing like a blazer. Well, so was Kai Hansen.
I mean,
but he was wearing a leather blazer.
That's about right. Okay, all right. Man, there's nothing quite like the aesthetic of the aging heavy metal guy.
Yeah, but it was a great.
I imagine.
Yeah, go ahead.
I imagine that Kai Hansen showed up looking like he had just like rolled out of a dryer, like he'd been tumble drying all night long, and then he's like,
I don't know about that. It looked like he attempted to put a lot of effort into his appearance with
well, then I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, but like maybe you should have, I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't have gotten some lady from Dundalk to design everything. Let me get my Aquanet.
Okay, all right. I see where
we'll borrow some of Sasha's. He knows what he's doing.
It was very large.
Fuck. Well, I ran out of time. Better get on stage. Okay, so yeah,
sounds like I missed a hell of a show.
That was the show. I think what I want to do is compare. So Helloween put a DVD out, or a Blu-ray.
Oh my!
Recently, for their show they did. It's called United Alive, that they did in, I believe, Montreal. So what I want to do is look at the set list. Of course, they didn't put it up on Amazon. Fuck you, Amazon, not a sponsor, unless, of course, you're listening to this on the on whatever Amazon podcast app is. Oh my God, just list the fucking set list. Jesus fuck. Okay.
I'll never do it.
It's never there, but that has the same lineup. That's what I was getting at. Also, shout out to Lord of the 80s. He's a YouTuber who apparently goes to every show within 2 hours of here and films the whole thing with his camera. But unlike all those obnoxious fucks who do it at shows,
does he use a tripod?
They film the show. They put the phone in your fucking way and make unwatchable videos and then never post them anywhere. Lord of the 80s posts them all and says the band, the song, and the venue. So
that's amazing.
I think he is the one guy that gets a pass. Say, you film. No one else is allowed to film. So
yeah,
you can
only need one.
He has most, if not all, of both Hammerfall and Helloween sets on his YouTube from Silver Spring. But like, this dude also went to Hell in the Harbor, which we're recording this episode after, and that's that's funny because that was over the weekend. So it's like Cannibal Corpse and Pig Destroyer and all these bands, and the outdoor stage was on Marketplace, which is the road in front of Baltimore Soundstage, but like in the same shot of Cannibal Corpse and like Dying Fetus is IHOP and Marshalls. It just doesn't work. Like they're being brutal in front of a place that serves Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. It's like
not to mention the moons over Miami.
Right. So yeah. I did not go to Hell in the Harbor because I spent all my money getting into Helloween and paying for parking. So, but yeah, it was a great show. I think Hammerfall's set was good. They're never going to play the set I want, but I love that they did one song off each album with, they did two off the new one, but that's to be expected as well. And Helloween had a great mix of songs. Speaking of mixes, the Hammerfall bass. So this is something else they do at shows that has. I think they go too far with it. So you want the headliner to sound the best, right, and sound the biggest. Yeah. So it sounded to me like they didn't turn the subs on until Helloween came out. So Hammerfall sounded pretty thin. Like you could hear the kick drum and you could definitely hear the bass when everyone stopped in Hearts on Fire. But like before that, I didn't know it was there. And then when Helloween comes out, they turned on the subs. Like, how about instead of like a 30 dB difference, you go for like a 15 dB difference, 20. Don't take all the oomph out of the opening band.
Yeah, especially when it's not well, honestly, never. But it's a co-headlining show, essentially.
Right? Yeah, I think everyone there would disagree. I think Helloween was always the headliner. But
well, maybe I just had that misconception from the fact that Hammerfall was playing other dates.
Yeah, without Helloween though. That's
Helloween.
The key.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's all I have to say. My complaints about Helloween will have to wait for another day. I think them being goofy in the 90s, gave other bands the misconception that they're allowed to be goofy. No heavy metal hamsters. That should not have existed. But it was the 90s. Everyone thought metal was dead. So, but different episode. Okay.
I can't wait for that one.
Yeah. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else.
I mean, definitely not for me because I was not at the show. But suffice it to say that you were having more fun on May 18th than I was.
Oh, I can pretty much guarantee. But then on May 19th, I was listening to New Iron Maiden again. So,
see, and I had that day off. I was lounging.
All right. Well, until next time, Metal Nation.
Keep the flame burning.
Yeah, that's better than what I was going to say. I was going to say make sure you wire your hammer guitar correctly. But no. Yours is way better. Keep the flame burning. Cast them down. And like and subscribe and all that nonsense. And force your friends to listen. That's our new listener initiative.
Yeah,
we're gonna force your friends to subscribe and listen to our show.
That's right.
That's the most metal way to get new listeners. All right. That's all I got.